Hello guys, welcome back to your channel 1000 Manga Recap. Last time, Jiada arrived just in time. Now, let's move forward. Wu Chen is soaking in the bathtub, letting the warm water ease his tired body. Suddenly, Jiada appears, slipping into the tub without hesitation. Wu Chen jolts. What's this? Jiada smirks, settling in comfortably. What's wrong? Isn't it normal for good friends to soak in hot springs and bask in the sun together? Wu Chen glares. We're not in a hot spring, nor on a beach. Besides, we're not friends, are we? Jiada leans closer, pulling out a sleek card. Your profile didn't say you were so uptight. Here, take this, she places it in his hand. It's your new identity in this country. I hope you'll get used to it slowly. Wu Chen stares at the card but remains unfazed. That's not my main concern right now. I just want to know how Casey is doing. Jiada pouts, tracing a finger along the water's surface. I gave you something nice, and you don't even come closer? Isn't this where friends exchange favors? Wu Chen ignores her games. What about the other players? Have they all been rescued? With a sudden movement, he grabs her weak spot, making Jiada gasp. She pants softly. Didn't expect you'd pull that. Catching her off guard, Wu Chen presses harder, tell me everything. Jiada bites her lip, trying to suppress a shiver. Everything should be in order now. The injured have mostly been sent to New York Presbyterian Hospital, then I'd better go check on them. Half a day later, 2 security guards stand at the hospital entrance. One steps forward. Excuse me, sir, the injured on this floor are under special care. The second adds, visitors need to show identification. Wu Chen flashes his new ID card. The guards exchange a look before standing at attention. My apologies. Officer, please come in. Wu Chen's eyes narrow. Officer? I'm one of Amer's officials? Ah, Jiada. Inside, he approaches a nurse. Where's the patient Casey who was in this bed? The nurse checks her records. One moment, sir, Casey. Her expression shifts. Casey was just discharged from the hospital. Wu Chen's jaw tightens. Just discharged? How long ago exactly? The nurse scrolls through the security footage. It was about 10 minutes ago. Wu Chen's mind races. 10 minutes? That means they haven't gone far. Without hesitation, he moves past the nurse. Excuse me, I need to use the computer. His fingers fly across the keyboard, zooming in on the footage. The person who took Casey, it's this guy. This is bad. Once they leave the hospital, it'll get tricky. Then, a thought strikes him. Casey mentioned an orphanage before. I'll take a chance on that lead. He dashes out. Sometime later. Suburban orphanage basement. A dimly lit room. A man, Casey's childhood friend, sits beside her, a bottle of alcohol in hand. He mutters, Casey, I told you not to play that game. You wouldn't listen, and now you're hurt this badly. With a sudden burst of anger, he hurls the bottle across the room. It shatters. His voice shakes, you could have left already. There's no need to push yourself like this anymore. For me, it's not worth it. His hand trembles as he picks up a gun. If you had the courage to join the game, then I can muster the courage to face father myself. Just as he turns, Wu Chen steps into the room. Are you Casey's friend? The man whips around, gun raised. Who are you? Why are you here? Do you know Casey? Wu Chen meets his glare. We're friends. The man's grip tightens. We grew up together since childhood. How come I've never heard of a friend like you? Wu Chen pulls out his phone, showing a video of Casey in the game. The man watches, tears welling in his eyes. I knew it, Casey, deep down, you're such a kind person. If you leave this place, you'll make new friends easily, you could live a normal life, free from all of this. Wu Chen narrows his eyes. Leave here to live a normal life? What exactly do you mean? The man sighs, his voice heavy with pain. For over 20 years, Father Wilson has traveled across the US, gathering homeless orphans like me and Casey. He claimed he'd provide everything we needed to grow up, so we could live here in peace. Sounds pretty idyllic, doesn't it? His face twists with bitterness. But one day, I discovered he had been drugging our food to control our minds. A certain dosage, and the kids wouldn't resist anymore, when my turn came. His fists clench, I was so scared, I pretended to be dead just to make him leave me alone. Eventually, I realized Casey knew the truth just like I did. So, we made a plan to escape. His voice breaks. But those under his control were scattered throughout the city. Every time we tried to run, we were caught and beaten black and blue. His knuckles turned white around the gun. Later, Father got bored and said he'd let us go. But we were sinners and needed to buy atonement tokens. Each one, $1 million. His breath is ragged. We worked like crazy to scrape together 1 million. I wanted her to leave first, but who would have thought Casey would go join the game? His hands shake. I never thought Casey was trapped in such a dark abyss. If that's the case, then I'll be the one to end Casey's nightmare. Wu Chen steps forward. You stay here and look after Casey. I'll handle father. Scene shift. Hypnotized men stand like statues. Then, as if commanded, they lunge at Wu Chen. Wu Chen doesn't hesitate. His fists fly. Each strike lands with precision. One by one, they collapse. He bursts into a room. An old man flipping through a book. Adrian Wilson looks up, completely unfazed. Outsider, you and I are strangers. Why such rudeness? What brings you here? If you like my video, please share and subscribe.